gonna lie, you guys are much more easier to do this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 bullshit because like when we're with the group, they're just like, blah. I was like, oh fuck. Hey guys, what's up? We're here.
Is it cool to like turn it down just a notch?
You can turn
wanted to do it, but I felt like you wanted a more professional atmosphere.
Gil, there's semi-professionalism in this and whatnot, but yeah, there's not like super professionalism in
that I can
the
believe.
Robro. Like I become okay. I don't want to say that because I become more professional if I'm interviewing someone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when we first interviewed Will, we were like semi-professional. So like, because I wanted Will to like.
There's a lot in that interview too that's like actually making sensible questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think
like we're nerding out at the same time.
Yeah, and then like that Godzilla trailer got me. Just
the
anime one, just nerd boner all
too.
around. So Gil, like you sit next to me. Yeah.
Oh.
Sit next to me.
I didn't know if we'd ever
John.
introduced ourselves.
Oh, John's fine. John.
Oh, alright.
The reason I do is because like we have so much shit involved in the other part. Like, Gil here is an anime friend of mine.
I'm John Dean, who never introduced ourselves.
Well, this is but tangents you never really introduce
true.
yourselves.
But
kind of just go in, yeah. Like Gil, what is your opinion on the like? Do you have any like new animes you really enjoy lately?
I honestly haven't been keeping up with any of it. Just if I see something that interests me, I'll go for it.
All right, like, but you guys watched the new Yu-Gi-Oh movie, and that was always like I have not seen it, and I feel you guys have mixed from what I've been hearing. Brady, do you have mixed feelings on that movie, or?
I thought it was a typical Yu-Gi-Oh episode in expanded form.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
I mean,
I liked it, but only because I like Yu-Gi-Oh in general, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
if I looked at it from a more critical standpoint, I might have different opinions on it, but I just kind of took it at surface value. So.
yeah, and I'm kind of on that side too. Like, I really like pretty much anything that Yu-Gi-Oh does, but
For
I
the
just
most part.
wish that we could get like a Yu-Gi-Oh plot line where they actually play the fucking game instead of a bunch of bullshit rules and whatnot and cards that don't make any sense and.
To be fair, at this point they are playing the game.
Yeah,
that is
I guess
the
that's
game
true,
right now.
like where we are at in the game now. But like I think that's where like into the TV series, and it's gonna sound stupid me talking shit about Yu-Gi-Oh because I literally watch that shit like it's a fucking religion. But like season 4 kind of like really drops down for me.
What was season 4 again?
Season 4 is where they introduce the seal of Orichalcos.
Yeah.
That is filler,
And-
though.
Yeah, there's parts of it that I like a lot, and then
Is
there's
that all filler?
Yeah, none of
Yeah.
that was in the manga.
Oh, okay.
The entire Waken the Dragons arc is all filler.
Okay.
Isn't season 5 also pretty much filler?
Part
no,
of it,
that's
like
the
first-
Millennium arc.
Oh,
that's
is
like
it?
the final part.
Yu-Gi-Oh arc.
Yeah.
Isn't
Oh,
the
that's
first part
right,
of it
because
filler,
it
though?
leads into.
Oh yeah, no, there is the KC
Yeah,
Cup or
the-
whatever, but then like
with
that
the
leads into
second
the Millennium
tournament and
arc.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So
The
that the
capsule
KC
creature.
shit is
Yeah.
filler too.
Yeah.
But
And then the Battle City when they go into.
The virtual reality.
Yeah, that's all
Noah,
filler.
That's all filler.
I like that one though.
Yeah, that one's not too bad.
That was a very
because
interesting
it's still,
concept,
It's still
yeah.
kind of like they're still playing the game.
It was Sword Art Online before Sword Art Online was a thing.
But yeah, like
Dot
season.
Hack was Sword Art Online before Sword Art Online was.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
that was my one
Yeah.
thing.
And see, like, I'm not like you guys. I actually really like Sword Art Online, but like,
Yeah.
still, it's
Yeah.
not a new concept.
I liked Sword Art
Yeah.
Online the first time I watched it, other than the parts where they basically become parents, because I feel like it's like what, like 3-4 episodes or something like that of just useless nothingness.
I don't like Kirito at all. I
Well-
think Kirito is the stupidest fucking character
Yeah,
in the world.
My
I don't
only
know.
gripe with the first, and I haven't watched Sword Art Online 2, the Gunmeal shit.
Oh,
but,
don't
like,
watch it.
My only gripe with the first season, for the most part, is that Asuna turns from this like complete badass,
The
like
second half.
independent chick into like a damsel in distress.
Yeah,
And I just, like, that
she's
kinda
being
bummed me
weirdly-
out a
Yeah,
little
and she's
bit.
being like weirdly raped
hmm
by.
Oh my god, those scenes actually like pissed me off.
They
Like
cringe.
I felt legitimate fury during those scenes.
Very cringy scenes with that
It's
guy.
definitely like I like when they can introduce a villain that is evil enough that it makes you mad, the things that they do. But this makes me mad because I know this is a situation she shouldn't even be in the first place. Because watching her actually kick some ass in the first season, you know that she's not just some girl that needs some guy to save her.
Yeah, well, it was half. Yeah, she shouldn't be in that situation in the first place, and then it was also half the act he was committing.
Yeah.
You know that like actually like fucking made me mad.
Yeah.
You know, but
I don't know. I've rewatched Sword Art Online.
I'm not gonna say it's a perfect anime,
No.
but I was entertained,
And
that's all I
won't
ever
say
ask for when I watch things is that
Yeah.
I'm entertained.
And I won't say that you shouldn't watch Sword Art Online because I say it's bad or whatever. Cause
Yeah, watch what you want.
Watch
like,
whatever you want.
I,
This
I
is
just
very
think it's-
opinionated.
well,
I just think
But-
it's such a hot dumpster fire show.
yeah.
at
Well,
this
okay.
point.
With that in mind, like, I've made this point to derive with people that like, someone gave me shit about my review on Baby Driver. I'm like, I don't hate the movie. I just have problems with it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, again, when we're looking at it from the point of view of like the entire second half didn't even need to happen.
right. But if you review shit, you want to put a critical analysis to it.
Yeah, you don't just want to sit there and get all.
Like,
I love it. It's the best thing in the world. 10 out of 10. Go
You have
see
to
it.
at least make an effort to be subjective.
like because when
Yeah.
I talk about Dragon Ball Super, I'm not always like, it's amazing, I love it. I'm like, there are some parts that are just stupid.
No, everything has flaws. that's just-
Everything that
I couldn't
has to
drive
do
it.
with the fucking movies should have been skipped in the TV show.
I
I'll
agree.
say that right now.
I agree. I
'Cause-
agree. What funny part of that is what happens in the manga. Like the manga does Battle of the Gods, but it's so shortened,
Yeah.
and then
condensed.
jumps to the universe 6 arc. Like,
Well, that's the problem that I have with the show doing the movies too. Is they find a way to turn these movies, these 1.5 hour long movies,
Battle of the Gods is
into-
actually almost 2 hours.
yeah, into like
7+ episodes.
7+ episodes of them actually going through what happened in the movie, and then like 20 episodes of filler.
I will have to say the first couple of episodes of Dragon Ball Super,
Bullshit.
not bullshit.
Are bullshit.
Not bullshit.
Totally bullshit.
Character building.
Totally bullshit.
Character building.
Totally bullshit.
No, I
You
think
need
it's
to build characters in the first episodes.
bullshit.
The first episode I can understand. The first 5, no, horseshit.
No, because like Beerus fights Goku in the 3rd.
No,
It's the 5th.
it's
It goes on for a
way
while.
back there because I remember watching them when they were coming on Toonami at first, and well, I didn't watch them as they were being released. I waited till there was a couple episodes recorded
It takes
on
a while.
DVR,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched through like all of the episodes because it was like 4 or 5 weeks after it started, and I never got to anything. It didn't even start into the
Okay.
plot line of the first movie.
For me, the first 2 episodes are important. The Goten Trunks episode and the Vegeta vacation episode.
I don't like the Vegeta vacation.
I like the
episode,
Vegeta
though.
vacation
I
episode.
like that there's a little bit of like, you get some depth into what's going on in Vegeta's life and shit like that, but I didn't think it needed to take up an entire episode. And I think putting some action scenes in an action show would definitely make those episodes better.
I don't know, like, I guess I've learned from, like, when I rethink about the first episode of season 2 of My Hero Academia, at first I didn't like it, because, like, maybe it's because I marathoned through it beforehand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, it ended, they survived, and now it's just this slow shit. But going to think about it again, if I'm watching episodically, I understand why they did that, because there was so much going on at the end. Like, that's where I stand with Dragon Ball Z. There was so much going on at the end of Z that it's nice to, like, pull back and, like, have this, like...
Breather arc.
Well, it's just the moment of, like... I don't know. I'm in the minority of what they do with Gohan, I guess. Because I like Scholar Gohan and not Fighter Gohan.
I like that he's smart. I just wish he was still kind of cool.
I don't know.
Numamon's
I think Gohan is cool as
I
shit.
just wish he wasn't played off like he's just some smart guy that's not good at fighting anymore because he's smart.
But that's the thing. As Super progresses, he goes back into becoming.
Yeah, and that's what. And it's the same thing that they did with Trunks. Like, they made him cool again.
Make Trunks great again.
Exactly.
I'm going to debate on. I did not like Future Trunks. I liked Future Trunks during the first part of the Android saga. But then I felt Future Trunks became kind of a whiny bitch in the Cell games.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, they made him cool again. And because he goes from being this badass dude from the future to...
With a sword.
Yeah, with a fucking sword. The only fucking DBZ guy with a sword. To fucking Vegeta's little bitch baby.
Like Dad, follow me, listen to
with
me.
Always crying with his daddy issues and shit like that. It's like, go get laid and shut the fuck up. Like, for real.
Damn, Maxie. Damn, John, you savage. Jesus. No.
It's just kind of... When I'm watching a show like Dragon Ball Z, I'm not looking for, like, these whiny parts like that. I like character development. I like character progression. Stuff like that, and I think that they can do that without making the characters like little girls always whining about their
basically
feelings.
Forcing it.
Whining about their going from whining about their feelings to screaming at each other over who's gonna destroy the planet and shit like that.
I understand that. Wholeheartedly understand that.
Just duke it out. Just throw a couple punches. Call it good. Character development.
Yeah, like when I look back at Dragon Ball Z, or any time that I go back and I rewatch it, I always skip a bunch of episodes. Like, I'll skip over episodes. Like, usually I'll go just straight to the fights because that's what I want to see.
Straight up weird. I'm gonna sound super weird. One of my favorite episode is where they learn how to drive. It's a filler episode.
That's a pretty good one.
I like that episode a lot.
It's actually pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
Piccolo in straight clothes.
Piccolo looking like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
But I wouldn't have minded a little bit more action going on there too.
Fresh Prince of Namek.
Fresh Prince of Namek.
Like anytime I restart like from like the third, I always separate Dragon Ball Z into like three kind of arcs. There's like from the beginning of the show
to Frieza,
to about Frieza, and then there's
Cell.
After Frieza to at the end of Cell, and then Cell to Boo to the end. And those are like the three sections that I kind of separated into. And anytime I start in on that third section with Boo, I immediately skip over like the first, I think it's like 10 episodes, where it's all about Trunks and Goten being introduced, and then Gohan is Great Saiyaman. And I don't hate Great Saiyaman, it's just that after I've seen those episodes once, I find them extremely boring to go back to. And I just want to get straight into some fucking Majin Vegeta shit.
Yeah, and that's... I think that's why I like Super a lot more, though. Like, when Super gets past all the Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F, it becomes a very competent show.
Yeah, it's definitely much better once it gets past the movies.
Granted, the Black Goku arc ended really bullshitty to me, personally.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's just ended very bullshitty to me. But my favorite, I don't know, seeing the Universal Survival arc to me, just every time I've watched every episode, and I've been nothing but hyped.
Yeah.
And now that the tournament has begun, it's so awesome.
Even just a bunch of the new ideas that they've been introducing for the show, like the idea of female Saiyans coming back, and actually being able to go Super Saiyan without some bullshit explanation about why they can't.
Do you know how many people were pissed off about that, though?
I was pissed off about it. I don't even really care that much, and it just made me mad because it sounds so stupid. It's like, if you're gonna come up with something, do a little bit better job at least.
No, okay, I'm going to explain this the only way I can. It makes sense. Because, okay, if you're looking at it in a standpoint of, they looked at it more technical. Like, Saiyans of Universe 6 are way more, are smarter than Saiyans of Universe 7.
Yeah.
Where Saiyans of Universe 7 only implied that it's due to battle strength and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually it's an unlockable trait with enough time, focus, and practice that you can unlock it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, like.
but then no one got pissed off about Gohan and Goten. That was my thing.
I was just about to bring that up too. I
Yeah.
was like, wait, why?
Yeah,
Gohan and
that's kind of one of the things that I actually didn't. Another reason why I don't really like their introduction into the series too, is because, I mean, like they just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing, and it took.
Krillin's death.
It took like
Cell killing.
But
4 seasons
yeah.
for Goku to get to
But
that
again,
point.
to point that out, then like it is it's a talent to it's like it's a trait. It's an extra.
Yeah.
It's part of their biology that it's encoded in them to do it. So if you understand how to do it, you don't need like the rage or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but that's the thing when you bring that up. Universe 6 brings up a perfect point.
I can't remember where they explain it to, but there's somewhere where they kind of explain it that, like, both of them are born after or conceived after.
Yeah, it's that Moscow
Goku
video I think you and I
Goku-
watched.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
conceived after Goku and Vegeta have learned how to.
Yeah, so that's
go
already
Super
unlocked.
Saiyan whenever they want to.
So that gene's been opened.
But I still think that's kind of just like a really
I mean, it's
Throw away
convoluted as shit.
weirdly-
It's convoluted
weirdly
as shit.
dumb explanation.
But I understand the premise. Like, I don't know. Like, I like the idea of female Super Saiyans, and I like the idea of Kale being the female quote unquote Broly, because like she was already fleshed out more than Broly has been.
Well, it's nice to see female characters in DBZ in the first place.
And like they're going to like they're gonna be prominent. You can't tell me they're not.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
especially
sooner or
if they're
later.
gonna make her like
Right.
a
Broly-esque,
female
yeah.
Broly. Like that's such a predominantly, even though it's usually just movies, like such a big villain character for the Dragon Ball series.
Which brings me to that come to the fact where like I'm one of those people that I'm hoping that if Frost from Universe 6, who's the same race as Frieza, when he unlocks his quote unquote golden form, to have it look similar to Cooler.
Yeah, that would be
I
kinda
think that would
cool.
be a really cool callback. Because I really like the Cooler movies a lot.
Yeah,
Agreed.
the metal cooler one is my
Like,
favorite.
favorite,
Dragon Ball
like, yeah.
movie.
Have either of you two seen the abridged version of that, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
They keep kicking me in the dick.
Why
do they keep
kicking me in the dick?
Can't believe they keep keeping you in the dick. Like,
Yeah, the part where he's continuously flying past Goku back at him.
Yeah.
Gets thrown back, goes back. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's probably my favorite abridged episode too.
No, my favorite abridged episode is the Broly episode because like they have a sheer hatred for Broly, and
Yeah.
you can obviously tell
Well, he's like a staple villain, but he's still kind of weird.
his motives are stupid.
Yeah, like, oh, Goku annoyed me with his crying. Even though that's so real because baby crying is fucking annoying.
Oh my god.
I can't imagine how bad it is when he's half monkey.
I think that was my favorite thing about Frieza. He's like the most racist character in Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
Monkeys.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Frieza. I like that he's come back and everything, but it
I
always...
don't. I'm getting sick of him coming
Yeah,
back.
that's... Well, at this point where he's come back like 17 fucking
Yeah,
times...
I'm getting just...
It's just like, alright,
fucking
introduce
sick.
somebody else, please.
I'm getting sick of him. Like, I'm getting sick of Majin Buu getting pooped on.
Yeah.
Like, he was supposed to be in the... Like, they hyped him up in the openings and shit like that. And that's
That
what
he
makes...
was, yeah, that he's gonna be in this new tournament.
That's what
of
makes
power,
me
and then
pissed
they're just
off
like,
about
nope,
it.
Boo's not in it.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's what makes me pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I always kind of get... It's kind of like a low point for the initial series, but I always kind of get disappointed that they never... Or that they even just kind of wiped Oob's existence from the series.
he's actually referenced.
Is he?
Yeah, because he's born a year after the Majin Buu saga.
Yeah.
So it's been 4 years since the Majin Buu saga. So he's 4 in his village
Oh,
right now.
so...
So when he's 8,
Yeah.
he'll enter the Grand Tenkaichi Budokai, where he'll meet Goku.
Yeah. And I guess I kind of figured they might do something like that, but that just kind of like...
He's
retcons
been
the final-
referenced. Like Dende's brought him up.
Yeah.
Beerus has brought up. There's child with a high martial arts strength. I think that's another thing that weirds me out about the Dragon Ball Z universe. Like, universe, they use guns and shit.
Yeah.
And, like, the aliens also have guns and shit. But Kung Fu,
Lol.
that's the thing that stops everything. That is what stops
That is the be all end all.
That is what stops interdimensional war, is Kung Fu.
To be fair, by the time you've mastered Kung Fu, you can shoot lasers out your hand.
I mean, we're talking about people that can blow up the planet by
Right.
screaming at it. So
Right.
I think guns are a little bit on the
The
low side for them. I mean, I'm pretty sure they've stopped bullets in the series.
Great
multiple
save,
yeah,
man.
fucking Raditz is like, boom.
Or even the androids, they just get shot in the face and they're just all like, oh, okay,
Ow.
I'm gonna kill you now.
No.
Whatever. No big deal.
But, like...
But then fucking Trunks cuts some Android 18's hair and she goes on a fucking rampage.
Right.
I think that's why I like the androids so much. Is
They're so
like
badass. Like,
yeah.
18's still a badass in Super.
Even though she's like a mom now.
Even though
too.
she's like a mom, because, like, when she meets 17 again...
Yeah,
17's
she
like...
is. She is mommy AF.
Yeah, 17's like, oh, Marin. And she's like, no, it's Maron with 2 R's. If you say that, fucking kill you. Because she hates Marin because Krillin dated Marin.
Yeah.
So she's like...
Which I've always thought was kind of weird that...
She basically dated Dumb Bulma.
Yeah.
Krillin dated Dumb Bulma.
And then named his kid kind of after her.
Yeah. I don't know, like... Battle manga is hit or miss for me all the time, though. Like, I mean, everyone's like, Yu Yu Hakusho, fucking...
I love Yu Yu
I love
Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes.
Like, I think I like that a lot more
I
than
watched
Dragon
it.
Ball Z.
Yeah, I watched it when I was younger, and like I rewatched it again, and I'm like highly convinced that Yu Yu Hakusho is one of those shows that it doesn't matter how long like how far down the line it's gonna be. That show's always gonna hold up.
I think Yu Yu Hakusho is much better than Hunter x Hunter.
Although
Agreed.
again, in my own personal opinion, Yu Yu Hakusho does really slow down at the end.
Yes.
Mhm.
But I believe Hunter x Hunter is not as good as Yu Yu Hakusho. And, like, everyone I've talked to is like, no, Hunter x Hunter is
I
amazing.
haven't actually
No.
watched the reboot
It's
yet.
okay.
It does what it does.
It does what it's meant
Yu
to
Yu
do.
Hakusho for me.
Is like
Fantastic.
steak sauce.
Yeah.
My thing that also gets me about that is that I never understood people's weird fascination with Naruto.
I was into it when I was.
I was
Yeah.
not into it.
When I was like first getting into manga and anime and stuff like that, I wasn't like crazy picky about what I watched, and so I liked the manga a lot.
Right.
But when I watched the show, it was like airing at like 7 p.m. on Cartoon Network, so like they'd legitimately like throw knives at people, and it would like stab them,
But you wouldn't.
and
see
then
it.
there would be just nothing. Like so
I didn't. All which
damage is just gone.
which I think is hilarious for me because I got into One Piece by watching the shitty 4Kids dub.
Yeah.
And then when my mom bought me the manga, I'm like rereading. I'm like, huh, that's not what
That's
happened
exactly
at all.
what I thought too when I watched it, because I saw the first episode on TV, like just a Saturday morning thing one day, and I was like, oh wow, I actually kind of like this.
I
a
like
little
pirates and shit, and I'm like
And
reading the
so-
book. I'm like, you saw
And so
Sweetie?
I went out of my way to buy one of the volumes, and it was Sanji's introduction.
And he's
and
smoking, and
He's smoking, and then the guy gets shot, like in the back, and like literally like goes all the way through him, and I was like, holy shit, this is so cool, because I was like 12 at the time, 13, I can't remember. So like all that gritty, bloody stuff was cool to me.
yeah,
Quote
I'm like-
unquote cool.
I know. I still like One Piece though. Like,
Dude, I still do love One Piece.
I'm highly dedicated to watching and reading.
I
One Piece.
definitely think that if you are someone who wants to get into it, watch it.
Yeah.
See,
You can read the earlier stuff, but as they kind of get into the later arcs, it gets kind of difficult to read. It's real easy on the eyes because the artwork's always cool and the pages always flow really well, but he's kind of gotten to a point where he really like,
There's so many subplots going on
yeah,
in the
And
manga that you kind of lose interest.
yeah, and it's much easier to pay attention to what's going on when it's a visual thing. Like even,
Right.
like when I am sitting and reading it, I don't always catch everything, but even when I'm watching it on TV and doing something else at the same time, I'm still keeping up just fine.
Right. Gil, you had something you were gonna say?
I, again, got into it with the 4Kids dub.
Right?
Horrible.
Poor Kids dub.
Horrible,
It's
but
amazing. Poor Kids dub
fantastic.
is fantastically
Anything done
bad.
by 4 kids is hot
yeah.
garbage.
I mean,
It's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh. yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Slifer.
Pokemon.
Slifer, the executive producer.
Well, it
Uh,
helps that Pokemon is already
Yeah, pretty
relatively
kid-friendly, yeah.
kid-friendly
Yeah.
for the most part.
I don't know.
Except
That
that
manga's
episode-
pretty fucking cool though. Like they.
Oh, that's Pokemon Adventures.
Yeah.
though. That's
that
totally
is
different.
fantastic.
My speaking
If
of
you
that,
were any of the fucking side, like, not to go off here, but like any of like the side anime shit for Pokemon, like Chronicles and Origins
dude,
and
yeah.
Generations,
Awesome
so
as fuck.
badass.
Awesome
Yes.
as fuck.
right. No, my thing about Pokemon Adventures is that my friend's son is big on Pokemon, and so they got him Pokemon Adventures, and he's reading it like with him. He's like, "Oh, Ronnie, you're only 5. You can't.
Yeah, because like
You
there's
can't read this."
the Psyduck, its face like melts
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff, and then there's an Arbok that gets cut
Cut in half. You're right. Yeah.
And the Pokemon eat other Pokemon. It's pretty.
Metal.
It's pretty
yeah,
dark.
it's pretty brutal
Pretty
stuff.
brutal.
It's
Brutal
pretty
Pokemon.
Realistic.
Yeah, they're like actual animals, and
That's what I
kinda-
like about the new.
it's unique.
That's what I like about the new Digimon, though.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's so good.
I really do want
It's
to.
so dark, but it's so
Try
good.
is fucking amazing.
Try is amazing. Like, it's just so good, and like it just proves why Sora's Bay.
Well,
Sora's Bay.
I'm not gonna argue for or against that.
Sora's my Digimon Bay.
The only thing that I have a big gripe with about Try is that we're like 4 fucking movies into this shit, and they have not said shit about the season 2 kids. Like, they start the whole damn thing off
With them being
with
killed.
them getting fucking destroyed,
Not
and then they
killed,
don't
but
say
got, like, yeah.
shit about
Right.
it aside
They-
from Ken.
Yeah. But
And
that-
then
that-
Ken turns out to
the-
just
the-
be fucking
Jedi.
evil
Jedi. Yeah. Right.
yeah, that almost kind of turns me off to it a little bit, but I still really want to watch it because
I feel like
season-
they're gonna say something eventually,
Yeah.
but like I feel like they should have done it earlier.
Because
by now.
Corey and TK still have their D2s.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing. That like if they did.
Well, like,
So
if
it's
they
not like they just like retconned that whole shit
Yeah.
out of there because
They
like
still
again
have-
they,
yeah, they have
killed
their-
the season 2
I would
kids
really
at the
hope
beginning,
And then it-
and then Kari and TK
They
still
have
have
the-
their
the D-
newer Digivices.
Yeah, their D2s.
And
I
then
would
it turns
hope
out
that
at
they-
the end that it's actually an alternate reality where they are
It's
dead.
The
alternate
one thing I don't
timeline
want to
universe
happen
thing.
with Try, and the reason like I'm still holding on to the thought that with Try everything is going to end up okay in the end.
Right.
Because the one thing I don't want to happen is at the end of season 2 they had that whole spiel with they're like 30 years in the future now. Here's where their lives are at, and like
It's
fucking
going to happen
like
like that.
yeah, like Davis has like a fucking noodle stand with Vemon and fucking Ty and Agumon are like lawyers and shit. And I don't want them to just like forget about that.
yeah.
You know, like I want everything in Try to at the end it's like okay, everything's cool now, you know?
Right.
Suddenly Matt's an astronaut.
That's cool. That doesn't bother me. TK's an author, so I mean, I will bring up my.
I really just hope they don't like retcon that whole season 2 stuff because those are some of my favorite characters.
Well, they
Those
haven't
are-
forgotten about him, but
Yeah.
like I said, I don't want them to forget that, you know, they ended season 2 off on a good note.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
point out though, I like the way they brought up the origins of the Sovereign Digimon.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was really cool because it like points out that Tapirmon could actually be the 5th Sovereign Digimon. Like,
Spoiler warning.
sorry.
Oh no, it's I don't
Spoilers.
This is our tangent
Yeah.
episode. If they're listening, they know.
Yeah, they know. But like the Sovereign Digimon is like they're based off the 5 great beasts of China, and like the 5th one is just the center wind, and it's another bronze dragon. Like the theory is that's what Tapirmon's gonna become
Mm-hmm.
at the end of it, to like bring balance back to the digital world.
Digimon's kind of another show that has really recently kind of just slowed in quality because the 3rd season was really good.
I like
Frontier, I haven't finished Frontier, but
I
like
enjoyed
I will say
Frontier.
that the first time that I ever watched Frontier, I hated it. Because
I
it
like-
was so much of a drastic departure from everything
Yeah.
that seasons 1.
I liked it when it was called Power Rangers. So
But as
Frontier
now
season
when
3
I'm
or
watching
4?
it, I really appreciate it. I
Four.
think it's
That's
really good.
that's the one where
the
They
barcode.
become
yeah,
the Digimon.
that's actually one of my favorites.
See, I like it now.
Yeah.
At least what I've gotten through. I still haven't finished it, but I've watched like halfway through of it, And what I've seen of it, I like it now.
Once again, I like when they were called Power Rangers.
The reason that I like it though is because all of the other seasons are like the Digimon are fighting bad guys, and there's like a bunch of kids yelling at them to do shit in the background.
Mhm.
And in this one, the kids are turning into Digimon.
But that's what I think
really
I like
cool.
about Digimon Season 3. Because the DNA Digivolution opened up that concept that
Yeah.
these kids are together with their Digimon.
See, I love season 3. Season 3 is
season
easily
3 is
my favorite.
really good,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Fantastic.
Like 4 is my favorite, but 3 is right there behind.
Season
3 is so
well
fucking
drawn
dark.
out and well.
It's so fucking dark and gritty.
Right.
and,
And
like,
it's
Yeah.
super well animated for that time period.
Right,
too.
and then like they showed like Leomon dying and shit in the
Mhm.
like in the.
It
American-
wasn't. Oh, he's dead. He'll come back. He's got
Ah,
a Digimon.
No,
Nope.
Beelzebub is just
Nope.
like straight fucking claw through the chest.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they showed that too. I'm like, jeez.
And then he
Battle-
explodes
There you
into pixels.
Speaking of like dark shit, I kind of wish like, have any of you read the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season
Fucking-
0.
I fucking love it.
Season 0. I kind
Even,
of.
even the stuff that happens over the course of what the show covers too is much darker.
Right.
Again, one of the main reasons that I even ever got into manga in the first place is because my cousin had a subscription to Shonen Jump, so every once in a while I'd like sneak over to his place and just read him a little bit. But I remember reading one of the Yu-Gi-Oh ones that was in there, and it was when he was facing off against Bakura, like during season 1, where they're all turning into the little figures and shit.
Mhm.
And like, there's a part where one of them, I think Bakura's like entering his mind or whatever, and in order to like clear his head to get back to where he needs to be, he like impales his hand on one of the like little buildings on the board, like just straight through the whole hand. And there's fucking blood everywhere, and I'm like, holy shit, this is way more lit than the TV show.
Yeah, no, the Yu-Gi-Oh manga is fucking
The Yu-Gi-Oh manga is
Dark.
awesome.
brutal.
My thing about that is that like Go was bringing up, Season 0 was originally Yu-Gi-Oh. Each chapter was based on like Yami Yugi being like a
Punishment
fucking
games.
punishment games, but a gambler of his own life. And there's some fucked up shit that happens.
Well, yeah, they actually like kill kids and shit too.
Yeah. Like some kid got set on fire in the first
Yeah.
episode.
It's not like, hey, we're gonna have a card game, and if you lose, you get sent off to this
To the
mystical.
Shadow Realm.
But
mystical.
Well,
purple
in the
area.
Japanese one, they just straight up fucking
Die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they die.
But
then they call it the Shadow Realm
in English
for
because
kids.
poor kids.
Yeah. Well, even after, well, I guess the only reason that
The
they
poor
continue
kids
to-
still technically dubs it. It's just
Yeah.
like they like rebranded themselves under a different like company name or something.
It's now for entertainment.
It's
But,
like 4K
yeah.
entertainment.
But
or
I
something.
definitely like when the show transitions into the card game much more, because I really do think that any time that Yu-Gi-Oh has dealt into the I don't know what to call, like the capsule monsters thing that they did
Stupid.
for a while. Well, I wouldn't call it stupid. It's just way more boring.
Right. I am not a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Really?
I really
do
enjoy.
not like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I find that to be boring.
The
and
only
I actually,
thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX that, well, there's two things that I don't like about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. The first is that they never did the final season in English.
Agreed.
At all. Like,
Agreed.
they just
what
ended
was
it.
the final season?
The fourth one, it was all of
Jaden versus Death, essentially.
yeah, it was all of that build-up that they had at the end of season 3 with Yubel getting resolved and everything. So they totally ended the series for anybody
Basically,
in America.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, and the only way that you could, at that time period, this was way before like Funimation and Crunchyroll and stuff like that was going around, or Hulu or whatever, and you could just watch the subs. The only way you could watch it was like the dubs on TV, and they just ended it there and left all of us kids. That,
Unless you
know,
knew where to find it on the internet.
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
exactly.
It was actually
brought
on
me
YouTube for a
back
while.
with their newest.
Well, I always watched, like, I started watching GX subbed before it ever hit the States, so.
Yeah,
Before they had even finished the Millennium arc here.
but the second thing that I hate about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is I activate my Pot of Greed, which allows me to draw 2 cards and add them to my hand.
To be fair,
Wait,
they pulled
hold
that
on,
shit in the
hold
first
on.
season.
They
Hold on.
did that every episode somebody plays Pot of Greed, and every time they explain what it does. It's like, bitch, I play the fucking game. I watched the first series. I watched yesterday's goddamn episode. I know what the fuck Pot of Greed does.
But John, I have to ask you in all seriousness, what does Pot of Greed do?
There we go. I don't know. I look back at it and laugh now, but it was something even as a kid. Like, I would get angry at my TV.
Because they over-explain some things, and then when you get...
Yeah, it was just kind of one of those things like, bitch, anybody watching Yu-Gi-Oh! At this point knows what the fuck Pot of Greed does. Just get on with the goddamn game. I want to see some shit go down.
Isn't it an illegal card like Monster Reborn to use for Pot
It
of
is,
Greed?
yeah,
Pot
in
of
the
Greed
actual
is
card game.
banned now, yeah.
Because it's just a
There's no
3 +1.
consequence to...
It's just, yeah, because...
Well, it's +2.
Well, it's +2, but the reason they consider it +1 is because you still have to use Pot of Greed.
Yeah, true.
So you're really only gaining 1 card, technically.
Because you have to sacrifice Pot of Greed.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, there's other cards out there that... And
Do
that's
that.
the reason that they banned Pot of Greed is because things like Graceful Charity, you give you 3 cards, but you got to discard 2.
Yeah, but even
There's
Graceful
no-
Charity's banned.
Is it now?
Yeah.
I haven't checked out the new ban list because I haven't...
It's been
really
banned
played.
forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like...
Oh, you're right. I totally forgot. That was way back in, like...
Yeah, it's like cards like
years
Upstart
ago.
that fucking, or like Reckless Greed.
Or
you know, because
Jar of
Reckless
Greed.
Greed, you draw 2 cards, but you skip your next 2 draw phases.
Yeah, Jar of Greed.
Or
you can only activate it.
fucking Upstart,
trap card.
your opponent gains life points. So,
Yeah.
like, they would rather focus on cards that have a consequence rather than just being...
Which I
plus
like a
ones.
lot more, too.
Which
but I've gotten to the point with Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I'm kind of like, I don't know what they can introduce that's going to bring me to liking the competitive
How's our new
nature of
gear
the game.
system working?
Links.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even Link Summon, because I was watching this video the other day of somebody using like some like Link Summon scapegoat combo thing that
Mhm.
they fucking filled their board and OTK'd somebody in
Yeah.
one turn.
That's
I'm just
the
like,
reason-
I thought this mechanic was meant to slow down this game.
Yeah, that's the reason that I don't really enjoy the competitive scene for Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore, is there's just...
It's too
so
fucking fast.
Too much meta decking, too.
Yeah.
Like, everybody that wants to take part in the competitive scene just goes out and buys the next best deck.
I guess the thing that I can't really argue for the meta decking thing so much, just playing the Pokemon TCG and kind of like I copy deck lists a lot on that,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Well,
But
I mean,
the
any
thing-
card game is going to get meted out.
I guess
Any
the thing
game
that
does.
bugs me about Yu-Gi-Oh is that it's always the same like 3 decks.
Yeah.
You know, Pokemon, yeah, I can sit there and I can net deck something, but there's like at least, you know, there's probably, you know, 4 or 5 decks that are like top, you know, tier 0 decks. And then there's at least 25 decks under that are also pretty decent.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, too, is that in Pokemon or even Magic the Gathering, because there's meta decking in both of those, too, but you still can stand a substantial chance playing against meta decks with a personally built deck.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the kind of decks that I prefer to use and I prefer to play against, are the ones that people actually think about what they're putting into them. That's why I like my...
sift through your card collection and just
Exactly.
like, oh shit,
I got
these
some
2
shit
cards
that I
work
can do.
together. I got all this other shit that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
sad that
That's
the heart
like-
of the cards has never helped me in any match I've had. So
Well, that's why I like my Spellcaster deck so
Why
much.
aren't
is
you
because I was
believing
just
hard
like,
enough?
I don't believe in shit.
Safe Zone keeps something on the field. Magician's Valkyrias can keep you from attacking shit.
Mhm.
Fucking Safe Zone Magician's Valkyria, and I got fucking... you can't attack me anymore.
Yeah.
And you can't fucking get rid of them either. But it's still... But in
Spellcaster decks.
Yu-Gi-Oh! It's still... that kind of strategy just doesn't work against these meta decks because, again, you can
That's why I only play the game casually. I would never
you
get
can
involved
totally
in the
get
competitive
OTK'd
scene.
like that.
I loosely pay attention to like what the meta decks are sometimes,
Oh, yeah, me too.
but like and sometimes like if I already have the card and I already think the card is interesting, then I'll look up like a deck list and try to build it. Like my
But I never
my
drop,
Chaos
like-
Max Dragon deck, for example.
Yeah.
I liked Chaos Max Dragon. I wanted to build a deck. It just happened to work out that Chaos Max Dragon is a meta deck.
Yeah.
You know?
The way that the competitive scene is now, though, it's like everybody just goes out and spends $400 for a deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are people that legitimately, like, go out of their way to build the deck just to sell it online for, like, a super high price, and people eat that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, this isn't what I want in a game.
That's how fun to me.
Exactly. Like when I play games because they're fun. That's the whole.
That's
reason
my problem
that I
with
only
Magic
play.
the Gathering. Every time I go to the game state, everyone's like, I spent like $50 on this card. I'm like, where's the fun in that?
That's my problem with competitive gaming in general, not even
Yeah.
just TCGs. Like, I've gotten onto this topic on my stream a couple of times. It's just like, I can't, like, for example, when Pokken came out, I would have loved, and when it comes out for the Switch, I'm going to give it a shot again. But I got so discouraged about how fast that game immediately became so hyper competitive.
Yeah.
And I just, like, got so turned off by it.
I
Because,
get
like,
okay.
I can appreciate and like understand why people would want to be like super good and would want to compete in
Right.
games, but I feel like half the time they forget like ultimately games are meant to be fun. You
I
know?
will understand that, but I'll play my counterpoint in when I did competitive Street Fighter. It's just I don't know. There's something like with
And I can understand to some extent that's the nature of fighting games because
that is the
where
nature.
it's
That
going.
is the nature of fighting games, and the thing between that and like a trade card game is that you're not spending an egregious amount of money amplifying shit.
Yeah, I agree.
You basically
Well,
it's a lot more reliability
there's,
on like your gameplay.
But even like Smash Bros, like I'm so
Yeah.
turned off from the idea of even playing Smash Bros on stream because I know what people are going to expect is hyper competitiveness, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not what I'm about, dude. Like I prefer playing Smash Bros with the items on, with the stages not
Mhm.
being fucking Omega mode or whatever.
Just
it
playing
is.
for
like
fun. Not
just
to
fucking
see-
playing for the
yeah.
chaos of it, like you know.
Yeah, like drop 7.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think the worst fighting game tournament I've ever been in is every time I go to the con, I just jokingly sign up for the Super Smash Brothers tournament, but everyone else in that tournament is taking that game so fucking seriously.
Dude, that's what
See,
like I can't stand the
and it
Smash community online.
bothers
See,
the
I'm
fuck out of me.
I'm a little bit of the opposite. Is I actually really enjoy competitiveness, and so I find a lot of fun out of that. Like,
Well, I find the
that-
Street Fighter tournament to be fun because like they're it's shit talking mixed with like
yeah, and
dude,
I-
you're doing really good.
and I
But
enjoy
Smash
that
is
kind
so
of stuff.
toxic to me. Smash is
Yeah.
equivalent to me as the league people are.
and
They're
I
just
really like
toxic
Smash,
assholes about that.
But
Shit.
that's what that's kind of where I'm getting at with my topic too. Is that like I don't think competitive gaming is inherently bad.
Yeah.
I just think the way that people get so ridiculously like over adamant about it is ridiculous because it turns people like me that would love don't have the time to spend fucking 20 hours a day learning a game and would
Yeah.
rather take it
Well,
slowly to
especially
learn a
with, like,
competitive scene.
combos
Like
and
we don't
fighting
have
games.
any place in competitive gaming because
Yeah.
we don't have the fucking time to spare to fucking dump into video games all fucking day, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want the time to spare and dump in like.
Well, like
those
the way
games.
the thing that turns me off in the competitive nature of video games is it's kind of similar to how the meta decking system turns me off to TCG. It's the guys that are so competitive that they go out of their way to like hack games and then go online and just kick the shit out of people who are trying to play the game regularly because they just can't do anything because they're facing off against someone who's literally hacked their game. They can't even like take damage or anything. That's the kind of stuff that turns me off in the competitive scene. But I enjoy both casual play and hyper competitive play. Like I used to play League of Legends a lot before that turned into a really toxic
It's just a
environment.
toxic cesspool. That
But
game.
those are toxic because the people aren't necessarily competitive.
They're just douchebags.
They're just dicks.
Yeah, they just want to be shitty people.
Like it doesn't even. Yeah, I totally agree though. Like the competitive scenes that are so hard to get into, like for people just breaking into that scene, because the veterans aren't really accepting of noobs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's bullshit. That pisses me off when I see that kind of stuff.
Right.
I find
Because
that
I'm totally like, I want to be super competitive, but I want more people playing the stuff that I enjoy too.
you're
So
right.
I'm like, yeah, definitely break in. Come on, I'll help you practice. I'll casual play with you. Fuck, I don't care.
I find the Dark Souls community to be super awesome in that way, though.
Yeah, it's hit and miss with Dark Souls. You've got the guys who are like super cocky about beating the games and stuff and getting through them, and I fucking beat Dark Souls 2 without ever dying to anything, and a boss, blah blah blah, which is impressive. I would give them that.
Yeah, I gotta give them
But
that.
and then you've got like the guys that are like, oh, you couldn't get past the second boss, get good, her, that are serious about it, because I joke about it too. But then you've got the people that are kind of like me, who are like, I get that Dark Souls is really difficult, and it's a game you have to spend a lot of time on if you want to get into everything from the lore and the exploration aspect of it to actually like playing through the game, even, because it's pretty hard. Or at least, Dark Souls 1 and 2 were decently difficult. I could talk for fucking years about Dark Souls.
Which he will in a retrospective of Dark Souls.
Eventually,
that comes out in March.
Eventually we'll do that, yeah.
Right.
But it's like you realize that it's not for everybody, and you can understand why they don't like it.
I think that's where we came up with the Kingdom Hearts thing.
Yeah.
Like the lore is so extensive. Where
the thing Kingdom Hearts did that really fucked them was they went and they did handheld games.
Yeah.
And I totally understand why they did it. They wanted to branch out their marketing and stuff like that. But when you have an initial game on a console like this, and it doesn't always go over badly, and then you release these handhelds that are strictly on this exclusive system.
That goes with that story.
That is totally not something that a lot of people had. Because, I mean, I had a PlayStation 2 that I had Kingdom Hearts on, and suddenly there's a Kingdom Hearts game on the Game Boy. I didn't have a Game Boy Advance. So I was like, I kind of want to play it, but I don't know how. And it was part of the main storyline.
I think that's the thing that fucks them over all the time when they do that. Though.
Yeah.
That was the thing that got them, because, like, I did not play Chain of Memories until I beat Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah,
So I had no idea.
Chain of Memories is right there in the middle. And that's another thing, too, is that they go from releasing a game, then they release the game's sequel, then they release the mid-game, then the prequel, then that sequel to the prequel, then a prequel to the sequel's prequel, and it just gets so...
And then an epilogue.
Yeah, and then there's a side story that doesn't make any sense.
And then the mobile game, you need the mobile game to understand.
Yeah, and now the mobile
yeah.
game is actually part of the canon.
It's
like,
God.
There's so much you have to do, and that's why, again, whenever I tell someone that wants to get into Kingdom Hearts, I'm like, get ready to... I hope you like reading, because you're probably going to want to just, like, wiki some of this shit.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
It's totally acceptable if you do.
Yeah, like, no one's going to be, like, fucking casual
But
about
I
this.
am a fucking... Well, especially with Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
No one's going to be like, fucking Kingdom Hearts catches, they're so gay. Stuff like that. Nobody like that exists.
Do you not play Final Fantasy extensively?
Those people, there's no, like, the thing about people who play Final Fantasy, they realize that there's so much in Final Fantasy.
Oh, God. Like, I love Final Fantasy.
There's just so much.
But, yeah, the fact that, like, earlier Final Fantasies took hundreds of hours and multiple discs to even play on in a time period when the fact that games were even coming out on discs was amazing. Because we went from, like, the Nintendo 64's capability straight into the PS1, which is straight from cartridge to disc.
Yeah.
And it was incredible what you could do with discs at that time. And here's Squaresoft releasing Final Fantasy fucking 7 on 4 discs. It's like, dude, that's like 16 cartridges if that came out on the N64. And it probably would have had better, like, overworld graphics, but I love Final Fantasy 7. I'm not going to say it's my favorite Final Fantasy, because I think anybody who says Final Fantasy 7 is their favorite Final Fantasy is probably saying that because it's the only Final Fantasy that they've played, or because it's the first one. But there's so much god-awfulness in those graphics.
So blocky.
Yeah. And I realize it's kind of just one of those, that's what was there at the time.
And you gotta kind of deal with it kind of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't take away the experience at all, in my opinion, because, like, the battle graphics are pretty solid, actually, especially for that time period. And the cutscenes that the PlayStation could pump out, too, were actually pretty impressive.
Right.
I mean, there was so much that the PlayStation could do, and that was where they kind of shortened it. Was like 80% of the game that you were playing. But I fucking Final Fantasy IX is my favorite, and I first played
That's with Squall, isn't it?
no, that's the one with Zed Garnet.
Oh, the Tail Kid?
Yeah.
Okay. 8 is Squall.
Yeah.
Yep. Squall's dead.
The
theory.
Gunblade.
Yeah.
That's a really cool theory too. But
It makes sense.
yeah, I first played Final Fantasy VI, again at my cousin's place because he had all the cool shit growing up.
Darn, I hate being poor too.
Yeah, word
Feel
up.
that feeling.
And then I played Final Fantasy VII, and it was so drastically different. Like it was weird to me going from 6 to 7 because 6 had this massive fantasy aspect to it. It was all magical and stuff like that. And then 7 goes into this like kind of technical area where magic is ruled by things like materia and stuff like that. And that was really, really fucking cool to me too. But at the same time, like when I played 9 and it kind of drove back into that mixing that technological with a much more fantasy aspect. And I mean, Final Fantasy games always get fucking kind of convoluted, like in the midway points, and then stay that way like throughout the rest of the whole game. But I love it, and I eat that shit up. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 came out, I don't know how fucking long ago now, a while ago, and I still haven't beat it because I just spend my time doing whatever the fuck I want, playing through side missions and shit like that.
Sorry, side note. I just found this meme. Anime fan. Wow, what an insightful metaphor for the degradation of modern culture. Non-anime fan. Why isn't that girl wearing pants? I'm like, yeah.
That's me over analyzing everything.
Right. I think
It's like Gil in this fucking game, just like always calling fucking
Digimon Cyber
Rin fucking sweater tits.
Yeah,
Sweater tits!
but it doesn't make any sense because her shirt is closed at the top and closed at the bottom. If it was open at the top, I think it wouldn't bother me as much.
What are you like? What? So
Nobody's
her
gonna
tits-
fucking point out the
She
fact
don't-
that Marae
she's
wears
real.
a fucking like dress that like the top half totally fucking like exaggerates her tits. Too.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, okay. I mean,
Okay, explain to me sweater tits
okay,
before we
so
go on.
she's just a regular looking person. Like I'm pretty sure she wears a hat, but she's got like a hoodie, and it's closed at the top around her neck like a normal like hoodie that you pull over is, and then at the bottom it's closed like a normal hoodie is, but there's a gapped hole right over her tits.
Oh shit! Okay,
And she's wearing a bra,
I have a
but
picture.
it makes no sense at all.
Right.
Sweater
Okay.
tits.
Yeah.
Japan.
Okay.
Well,
no,
yeah, but
I'm seeing this picture right now. You're right.
Sweater
Why?
tits, right?
Why? What?
It doesn't
Can't you
make-
not just zip up her whole fucking sweater?
Well, it's zipped at the top, zipped at the bottom, but
Just
not at
not
the middle.
women.
What? Yeah. Why can't you like just do it like what?
But that kind of goes into like how, because this is a totally Japanese AF game. Like it's made by Japanese developers. It's in Japanese.
Have you played Tekken?
Well, the voices are in Japanese. Yeah, I mean Tekken's a Japanese game too.
Yeah. Have you
But
seen the over-exaggerated
any-
tatas on those
Well,
bad
exactly.
Jacksons?
Everything that
Jiggle
in
physics.
Japan is, it's not really, I wouldn't say everything is hypersexual or anything like that, but they're so much more accepting of sexuality.
I don't know.
over
Mortal
there.
Kombat is equivalent to that shit, and that's an American-made company.
Yeah, and there are like American companies that do it too, but they don't have the grotesque violence as much over there as what we do. Because
Right.
when you're over there, they view violence like people in the States kind of view sexuality, where they don't cover it like as much. It's there, and you can definitely see it if you're like into that market. Like their TV shows and stuff are violent and stuff like that, but it's not something that like
Is predominantly ingrained in their culture.
exactly like they don't see it on like daytime television all the time. Like we don't see sexual content on daytime television, but they totally do. And I actually like that mindset a lot more, honestly, because a lot of people say that they don't because they don't want their kids to see it. And like this is a this is kind of getting into some weird parenting topics, and I'm not a parent, so I'm not like trying to bash anybody, but in my own personal viewpoint, when it comes to like what my kids can see, I think it would be easier for me to explain something sexual to my kids over something hyper violent. Like if my son went to see my hypothetical son that totally doesn't exist, went to see a rated R movie.
Daddy, why is that guy hunched over? Why is there a puddle of blood underneath him?
It
What's that stuff that came out of him?
I think it would be it would be much easier for me to explain a sex scene to my kid than having to explain like what a decapitation and what death is. Something like that. Because to me, sex is like a natural part of life.
Are you saying death isn't?
Well, death is too, but death is
I
one
don't
of
know.
those really mature, focused things because it's like, I mean, sexuality is like the base of human existence. It's what starts human existence, in fact.
Actually, not anymore because I believe in the whole turkey baster method.
Well, I mean, there's still some sexuality going on in the turkey bastering method, too. Even if you go along the lines of women rule the earth and they're just keeping men alive to harvest their seed for future population methods, there's still sexuality, which I'm not totally opposed to, like, being hooked up to some penis-pumping udder system like a cow, honestly. As long as you feed me sandwiches every once in a while, let me watch TV or something, I'm pretty down. I don't gotta go to work. I can just sit here and get jerked off by a machine all day, every day. To me, it's just... I think it's weird how desensitized, I think, people in America are to violence.
Right.
Because it's something that's horrific, if you think about it. Like, the things that we see on TV, we see them and we don't even think about it at all. But, like, if those are things that happen to real people, I mean, that's really fucked up shit. I mean, you see, like I said, decapitation earlier. Anytime you hear a story in the news about a decapitation, it immediately draws your attention and immediately, unless you're some sort of weird fucking masochistic perv, draws you to kind of some sort of dark thought place. Because you know that's a horrific act. But you see it on TV and you're just like, fucking whatever. Doesn't matter. See shit like that every day. But Americans see something sexual and they freak the fuck out about it because they don't want their kids to see it and stuff like that. Or like with the recent topless women movement that's kind of going around of recent years, the Free the Nipple campaign or whatever. People are hardcore against that because breasts have been so overly sexualized for years that people's main argument is like, I don't want my kids to see that. And I'm like, okay, but men walk around totally topless, and the only difference is that not every man has fat pockets in his chest. I mean, not every woman really does either, but it's a really convoluted thing that violence is so okay when it's a much darker topic in actual reality than sex is. Yeah. And I would rather that my kids would actually have decent knowledge about sexuality and the human body and stuff like that as they're reaching their teenager phases through like me being able to explain it to them rather than them staying up past midnight sitting on Pornhub being like, what the hell is all this shit?
Sean has an avid love for Pornhub. I feel like we've connected this.
I do like Pornhub quite a bit. I won't lie. Who doesn't like Pornhub? I mean, come on.
I like X videos a little bit better. I mean, like...
I don't know. Pornhub's just there and it's easy to spell with one hand. I love using that excuse. I don't know.
Holy shit!
But again, like all of that stuff, like sexuality and whatever, it's readily available to people even here in the States to watch if you're looking to see it. again, I mean, Pornhub. You don't have to pay for it. It's there. It's always there. It's right there. You just type it in and go.
Right.
And it's the same way with violent stuff in other countries. It's not like it doesn't exist. It's just not a main focal point of their entertainment. And while I do very much enjoy like dark, gritty, or violent TV shows and movies and stuff like that, I do sometimes not enjoy it when that's the only aspect of the thing, because I just feel like it's being grotesque or it's being brutal for that sake.
I understand.
And that doesn't interest me as much.
No, I get you on that one.
I almost feel like people that are really into those kind of things, like, don't even get me started on juggalos. Like,
Magnets, how do they work?
that whole movement kind of thing, that messes with my mind that people could think that kind of stuff is not just interesting, but like something that they actually want to be a part of. Not being a juggalo is bad or anything like that. It's pretty weird.
I think it's pretty bad.
But like, I'm talking about like when ICP or I guess I'm saying ICP 2004 called, they want their easy target back. But or any of those artists out there that sing or rap or whatever about doing really violent things. And this is a big thing from like being a metalhead too, because there's a lot of that in metal. But there's actually people out there that take that stuff seriously and actually like want to be a part of doing that
The
act.
death and
and the hurting people and stuff like that. And I find that to be a more fucked up mindset than someone who watches a sex scene in a movie and is like, I want to do that, because everybody does. Well, I mean, okay, don't assume my gender, trigger warning kind of stuff. There are asexuals out there that exist. But the majority of the population is sexually interested.
I get you. I don't know. Juggalos have always freaked me out. Like, sorry for anyone who is a juggalo. Just fucking weird to me. Like,
I don't think liking that kind of music makes you weird or anything like that, because personally I think everybody kind of goes through an ICP stage.
I like one ICP song.
I think I was like 12 when I listened to ICP.
Even if not ICP, just
or
like any sort
that
of
are like that,
artist that has lyrics that are intended to shock, and
yeah, exactly.
That's the sole purpose.
Look at like Eminem.
You know?
I mean, his first few albums were extremely violent and dark.
Yes, they were.
From every topic, like killing his mom to doing hard drugs and stuff like that. And there were people that took that seriously too. But look at how popular he got doing that kind of thing.
I can rap all of Eminem's old albums.
Dude, me too. I love all that shit.
Right, I do too. But like, no, I clearly understand that. I don't know. It's just like, it's like when people had that weird thing about like Dragon Ball Z was gonna make kids hyper violent.
And it was the same thing with like Power Rangers and stuff like that. And yeah, there are a lot of kids who got hurt playing those games.
But we're kids.
Yeah, but they're kids. They're not.
They're gonna find another way to hurt themselves.
And that's another reason why
kids are gonna roughhouse regardless of fucking having.
Exactly.
But then I will bring that counterpoint of the whole like those girls stabbing that chick because of Slender Man. Like that shit was like hella fucked up in my opinion.
There's a difference between kids roughhousing and kids just straight up being brutal. Because, and this is another kind of like dragging away from like nerd stuff into political talk. Kids are fucked up. Like I don't care what anybody says. When you're in that stage where you're obviously above toddler, just getting introduced to like peers that are similar to your age, elementary wise and middle school wise, kids are fucking dicks. Like they are always shitting on each other. They're all not literally. They're always ragging on each other. There's always bullies. There's always kids that are looking out for ways to hurt other kids. And they seriously get enjoyment out of this because their minds are still in that phase where they don't have things like empathy. It doesn't exist to them. And it comes around later when you grow up and you realize that doing that kind of stuff
is bad and I shouldn't be a shitty person.
Yeah, and it's a whole thing with like anybody who's ever grown up and had one of their high school or middle school bullies apologize to them, like, totally understands what I'm talking about, too.
It's a weird experience.
Yeah, and some people might not know it because they were the bullies, too. And
Right.
they don't realize it all the time because they're just kids. They don't always understand either that what they're doing is wrong.
I thought I was just being funny.
Yeah, and yeah, there are kids that don't understand it, and there are kids that do understand it. It's kids are just dicks. Like, I when I was in high school, I didn't have a driver's license, so I rode the bus. And even just like listening to like the second and third graders talk to each other would just make me mad. I wouldn't take part in any way or say anything to try and stop them because, you know, I'm fucking 17. It's not my fucking job. I'm just riding the goddamn bus so I can go take a nap in physics class.
Hey kids, shut up and be civil.
But I mean, they're just nasty stuff that they talk to each other about. And sometimes I'd be like, where the hell do these kids learn words like this? Like, this is stuff that, because I was bullied a lot. And there was a portion of my life where I wasn't the nicest to the other kids too. But it's like I almost sometimes feel that like kids are getting worse.
Yeah, I can agree with
And
you. On
that goes back to like some of that desensitized to violence kind of stuff. Like you see that all the time growing up, especially with how like readily available like television is nowadays.
Well, this is from my standpoint. I find it very weird because when hearing about kids now, they know piss, shit, fuck, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, like the worst thing I could ever say was
I just want to
boobs
point out that is the most that Joe
vagina.
has ever sworn in one
But,
sentence.
yeah,
ever.
it's weird. I was like, it's like whenever I'll ever hear Davey swear, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I've only heard Davey swear once.
Same
and
here.
It threw me off the wall.
Right.
Like literally, it was like I jumped off a building. Like
I was like,
I
what?
don't even, it was like bitch too, so it wasn't even that big of a deal. But I was just like, holy shit!
well, it's the same thing. My Mormon friend Jared just doesn't swear at all. But he's like, you know what pisses me off sometimes? These fucking a-holes. I was like, you can say fuck, but you're not gonna say a-holes, okay?
I'm with that. If you're gonna say that, then you might as
Go
well just
all
go.
the way. He's like,
Don't stop.
yeah, but
Just
you know,
power through.
Mormon friend, he's like, I can't.
Yeah, my kind of thing is with words. I don't think that words should have as big of an impact on people as they do.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing that you can do to change that.
John, you're triggering somebody right now.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's gonna be triggered no matter what.
Someone is always triggered on something.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah,
like
I
a
turned it on because it was fucking hot in here.
personal opinion kind of thing. It's just like, but there's so many words that for us, and then again, words that are in other countries that don't really mean as much, but for us are like serious, don't say this kind of stuff words. And they have this just huge impact on people. And I don't think they should, but you can't change that because people are going to take everything in a different way than what I'm going to take it as. I mean, I could be called stupid and just be like, okay, whatever, doesn't matter, maybe I am stupid. But you could call someone else stupid, and whether it be just the fact that they're not,
They'll blow up.
Yeah.
that they're not, either they're having a bad day or they're just not okay with that kind of,
Talk.
being
Right.
talked to that way.
Right, no, I feel you. We do have to get going soon, though.
All right,
It's
I'm
almost
cool
noon.
with that.
So thanks, guys, for talking.